The customary Isaac exasperated sigh of starting things.
Yes. Well, that was more of a whoo, not a.
I've been told by my father that apparently that is a very that is what makes an Isaac Zephyr video. Anyway, so apologies for missing the last two podcasts.
I told you that like over and over and over again. You always do that.
Yeah, but it's not until someone who watches my videos tells me that it becomes real. Anyway, sorry for the last 2 months not having a New Year's podcast, everyone. It was hectic trying to get everything together, and just there was all sorts of stuff going on. I think we mentioned during The Last of Us that Riffti's got 2 jobs now.
Oh, I've had 2 jobs for a while.
Yeah, so it's been hard to get everybody together, and now there's just different things going on. Long story short, we're bringing on a new member, and that is Pheonix.
Hello, everybody.
Who I have had on with a couple of things, and by the time this goes out, I hope we'll have at least one more thing out, maybe 2, with her in it, and it has been a fun time so far recording with her. So
yep, I'm glad I joined. I'm having a great time.
So yes,
I have not technically recorded with her yet. So
that also being
virgin ground.
That also being said, for people who are fans of Foxen and whatnot, he's not leaving BrantFurred. It's that he's got to take a little bit of a step back. He's got personal stuff he's got to do and deal with and all that. And as he put it, he would rather us continue on with him not in everything than to us be essentially slow the way we have been for the last 2 months.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just been a big scheduling conflict between his schedule, my schedule, and Isaac's schedule, to the point where we've sort of been holding back on series because we're like, oh, well, we have to wait till we're together, and we have to wait till this person and this person are free, and this and this and that, and it's just the point where it's not worth it having less content just because we need everyone together. So this is sort of the compromise we've come up with.
Yeah. So we're going to be changing the graphics soon then, because new members and whatnot. And in order to be more present in the actual BrantFurred community, we've delegated that Foxen's going to start running more in life event, like real life events, meets and stuff, so that we have more of a presence in the actual like city community.
And less of an online presence where anyone who does live in the BrantFurred area, Brantford's very centralized city compared to a lot of places in southern Ontario. You can expect to see more things from us in the next little while. Hopefully, if you manage to come down to the city, meet us in person, have some fun.
I mean, why would anyone want to come here? To be fair, this place sucks.
It doesn't suck.
It's terrible.
I don't know. As someone from London, it kind of sucks. It's the third. What is it? The third fastest growing city in Ontario, according to the buses.
At this point, it's a college town, more or less. But
yeah,
from somebody who came from the wrong side of the tracks, so to speak, sucks.
I don't have any problems with Brantford. I have never had a problem with Brantford.
What neighborhood did you grow up in?
Down the street.
Oh, there you go. You live in a nice town. In a nice part of it.
But yeah, that was the main thing. Is like everyone in high school is like, oh, I can't wait to get to Brantford. And I'm just like, Brantford's fine.
You know what's funny about that? Is everyone says, I can't wait to go to Brantford, and then no one leaves ever.
Yeah. It's kind of true. Or they leave and then
it's like a cult.
They always end up coming back.
Well, to be fair, it makes sense why they filmed Silent Hill here.
Well, I'll say it. I have a friend on my Facebook who moved to California, and then at Christmas time, her little thing came up, and it's like, in Brantford. And I'm like, you visited all the way from California?
I got a better one. I was working with a girl a couple weeks ago, months now, and she lives in France. She lives in France with a work visa, and I was like, what are you doing in Brantford? Go back. And she's like, I'm here to visit family. And we started talking about it. She's 1 year older than me and has been everywhere. I was like, what? What am I doing with my life?
You know what I think it might be? Maybe everyone doesn't leave because Burrito Brothers is too awesome.
True.
I love Burrito Brothers. Because
I brought my aunt was in for a trip, or just to visit around Christmas-ish time. And she came with a friend, and they were like, where are we gonna eat? You pick the restaurant. And I'm like, we go to Burrito Brothers. And they came, and my aunt's not even a fan of like spicy food or anything.
Yeah.
But she had it with her friend, and since then they have gone to multiple like taco style places in London, and it's like nothing's the same. We need to come back and come to Burrito Brothers again.
See, I live within walking distance of Burrito Brothers.
How are you not fat?
I'm poor.
That is a perfectly viable reason.
To be fair.
How are you not fat? I'm poor. Oh.
See, this is why I want you on the team. You're very funny. So, news of stuff that happened within the last 3 months at this point. Lots of Nintendo stuff. That's been my life.
Trump.
We don't talk about that.
We're in Canada. It doesn't matter to us.
That happened.
No, it
That-
does. No. What? Like seriously, what? In his first, I don't even know what it's been. Week? Have you seen some of the shit that he's been doing?
Did you guys know that he now officially like said yes to that pipeline?
Yeah, he said yes to the pipeline. He has signed in, starting to build that stupid fucking wall, and he enacted what do they call it? The gag bill, where any country that receives U.S. funds can no longer use any of the money to support, talk to, educate any woman on abortions.
That's... What?
Yeah. Any foreign country that receives U.S. money can no longer use any of the funding for their medical programs to go towards education, performance, or anything having to do with abortions.
Does that count us? Are we technically a foreign country within that?
Yeah, but I don't think we receive funds from
I don't
the
think
US.
I don't think we receive like money to go towards our medical because we have our
Like if we
universal medical.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if we had a horrible incident like a hurricane, maybe we qualify under that because we then have reparations and things like, or not reparations, but support from other countries. I think
Foreign aid.
I think that would that's it. Foreign aid. I think that would qualify it, but we don't receive money directly from the U.S. for anything.
It's a good thing we live in a bowl then. We didn't even get tornadoes; they passed right over us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, on a lighter topic and a less political one, because
I'm sorry, it's up in the air. It's relevant. It's new.
It's topical.
Holy shit! I'm scared.
Personally, I give two shits about politics in general. That's including our own. That's just I have no interest in it whatsoever.
I think the first time I cared was our last major election. I cared. But anyway, again, lighter topics. Pheonix.
Sorry,
Yes.
It would have just come up, and you probably just recently listened to it, was our Mario Kart episode where we were talking about competitive Pokemon playing and hackers.
Yes.
This popped up in the feed, would be like a week or so ago at the time that this podcast came up, but basically the minute we were done, like just slightly after, this Pokemon Company announcement came out, which was it's labeled Battle Spot Exclusions. Would you like to guess what they did?
Tell me.
Just shy of 6,000 people were banned from online activity for having altered save data.
Good. Oh, that.
So literally directly on it, hackers getting actually punished.
Yeah, it's about time. It's about time.
Yeah, it's what Isaac does.
I don't alter the save data, generally.
Generally.
Do you hack Pokemons?
What, ones that have been hacked?
Do you hack them? Are you in their matrix?
I don't hack them in the sense that, like, I create a Pokemon from nothing. I alter a pre-existing Pokemon that I have. So it is technically altered save data, but it's not to the extent that...
But it's still altered save data.
Would they count that?
Possibly, I don't know. I didn't receive a ban. I'm not in that 6,000.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Potentially.
They may change it in the future. But the majority of what I have is all gotten legitimately. The few things that I alter are occasionally if I need a hidden power of a particular type, or if for specific legendaries, just getting them the IVs, because I don't care to sit there and soft reset, because I did that once with a Mewtwo for a tournament that was coming up, and I hated it because it took me like a week of soft resetting to get the nature I needed and all the IVs I needed, and that was with using all the various like tools and extra stuff that you can do to basically stack everything in your favor.
See, that just sounds like a lot of bullshit that I'm just not very willing to get into.
Exactly.
I'm just like, I play for fun. I have fun. I'm good.
Yeah. But I think a lot of it is the part that I have the fun from the competitive. Like, the Alola Friendly will have been over by now. It'll probably have just ended, but day one has already happened, and of my 15 battles, I went 12-3 wins.
It's not bad.
So I won 12 out of 15 games. And I had fun.
Yeah.
One of those wins was very undeserved on my part, though.
Why?
He got a crit.
I got a crit, like, last turn.
So?
The maximum I could have done was, like, 85%.
So? That's not necessarily... You deserve that. That's just what game mechanics.
Here's the thing. Isaac's the kind of person who's like, oh, I feel so bad I got this crit and won. But if someone else crits him, he's like, oh, for fuck's sakes, a crit!
Yeah.
So, I hate listening to him when he battles, because when things are going in his favor because of the game mechanics and random chance, he gets upset. When things are going against him because of the game mechanics and random chance, he gets upset. He can't win.
Oh, well, I know what that's like. I live with that kind of thing too.
Well, it's because maybe it's like I view it more along the lines of a sport than a gamble, whereas I prefer that the player with the higher skill wins, not the one who was luckiest won.
Literally, that's how the game works.
I know.
Technically, critical hits count as skill if your Pokemon are high enough affection or whatever the case is to land the crit.
Affection isn't brought into online battle.
Just
yeah, but I know what you mean.
In general, type thing. It's like kicking a soccer ball from half field and getting it in the net because it flies right over the goalie. Technically, he still got the goal, whether or not he was not paying attention. It's on point.
But I don't know.
Just you.
It's one of those things where if you're outside and you kick the soccer ball and it goes that extra 5 feet because a random gust of wind carried it.
True.
Random chance, it still happens.
Or like the ground isn't super flat and it rolls down a hill into the net. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying, I'm tired of hearing you talk about that kind of stuff, hon.
Yes, fight.
X.
Soon it will all be mine.
Do it. Kill him.
Do it.
But yeah, no, I thought that was very topical considering we just had that conversation, and they're cracking down on hackers.
Good. I'm surprised it's taken them this long. Honestly, it's sad.
It's not a matter of that. It's that their methods of doing it in the past have been subpar. So essentially, if the Pokemon that you're trying to use is in any way hacked, it does not let you.
I just feel kind of bad for those people who have to buy those packs, who like went out and bought the packs from the game cheating companies.
Oh yeah, no, that fucking makes me livid.
No, and then they get if any of those people got banned, because then I'd be like,
yes.
Because that's the other thing I've had to hear Isaac complain and whine about for the last 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, I have a power saves device. It's how I do my hacking, and it's the least powerful hacking device. It's not hard modding the system, it's popping my cartridge in, and I can manipulate like one Pokemon at a time. So it's a lot of effort to hack. But I can only use the hacks that they have readily available.
Let me ask you something, since you're a competitive person.
Sure.
What is the hype about the competitive? Like, what is it about that whole aspect that you like?
That I like?
I can't wrap my brain around all of this mathematical bullcrap just to beat people in a game. Because maybe I just don't care that much. I don't know. I can't figure out what the hype is about it.
For me specifically, I like to outthink an opponent. I enjoy games like chess. I enjoy other such games of skill. I like bluffing in a poker hand and other things. So, if I'm playing against like the Elite Four in the game, there's only so far that they can offer me any kind of challenge. To the point where I've fought them within the last few weeks, I think 4 or 5 times with teams that were 10 levels under theirs and still win. Like, everything. And that's, like, without using revives sometimes, too. So there's only so much challenge that the game's AI can actually provide. It's the major difference of playing another human being and knowing that they're thinking about the moves and whatnot. And to outthink them or play against them. Like, I had a couple of matches where my opponents were using Kartana, if you've seen that Ultra Beast. And...
yes. No, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And essentially they smart strike my muck. So the thought is that they'll attempt to smart strike me again because it's the best thing they have to hit me with. And my best response should be swap into Tapu Lele because it'll resist the smart strike. But my opponent, or not the smart strike, but the Sacred Sword. So swap into Tapu Lele, do 4 times resist the fighting move, only to have them use the steel type move instead. It's the mind games of playing with another opponent, having to outthink them at the same time that you have to essentially pick the better Pokemon to go in the thing. There's a lot of...
Let's put it this way. It's the battle between Light and L from Death Note, where they just overthink everything.
True, and I can understand that process, but wouldn't you get more... This is what I'm thinking of.
Satisfaction?
I guess, yeah, that word works. Satisfaction out of beating somebody who has all these IVs and EVs and bullcrap without a team that has it? Because it's your own hard work and not hacking that went into all of that?
Oh yeah, and that's why I said, with the exception of a few legendaries and hidden powers, every member of my team I've put the blood, sweat, and tears to make myself. So there's a lot of satisfaction knowing that I put in that extra, that hour or so to make a guy good.
The thing is when you have competitive players playing with IVs and EVs and all that, your average leveled up team isn't going to compare.
True, and I get that.
Yeah, it's 2 completely different breeds of the same Pokemon, the same game, and you can have all the strategy in the world. If your stats don't stack up to what that you're against, you're going to get wiped, no matter what. True.
I'm bad at games, so I already accept I'm going to fail 90% of the time anyways, so it doesn't matter to me regardless.
And that's the bit, is I have no problems with people who like to play games for fun. And I do play a lot of games for fun. I play games I don't think I've even played a single Pokemon tournament online match, despite the fact that I'm fairly good at that. It took me years to get confident enough to start playing League of Legends against other players. So there's a lot of games that I just play for fun and on my own and all that. And then there are games like Pokemon and I'm trying to think of another game that I generally go all out for the online. I guess nowadays would be League of Legends, where I go out and I try to learn and become better, because it's satisfying to put all the effort into something and then be rewarded for it with
Silver
a victory.
3.
That's Silver 3. Yeah. But I'm not going to get better than that Silver 3 without practicing. And the more I do it, the better I'll get.
So what happens when you're the best at everything? Where do you go from there?
I'm never going to be the best at everything.
It's one of those things where it's no matter how good you get, there's always someone better.
Yeah. And that's kind of something that I've come to accept. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to be the best that I can be.
Yeah. It's one of those things, and when you get to those high levels where it's, who's the best, and you're of the best, you're all pretty much equal. So it's not someone's necessarily better than someone else. Yeah, you trade blows, and sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, but when you get to those high levels, 50-50 is a good place to be when you're against people of that caliber.
I guess I can chalk it up to, listening to you guys talk about it, she got me thinking of, one time I was talking to my mom, and she asked me, she's like, why don't you get straight A's in school? You're smart enough that you can do that. I said, do you know how much pressure there is to get straight A's in school? Everyone expects straight A's from you all the time, and once you're in the straight A club, there's nowhere you can go. As soon as you go downhill, that's it, you're done. I'd rather stay at a BC average and be happy than be stressed out at a straight A's. And that's kind of what that's making me think of.
Exactly. And that's kind of my knowledge that I'm never going to be the best. I can try to be the best that I can be, but if I hit the point that I'm stressing myself out, then I stop doing it.
It's the same thing with my art, to be fair.
To be honest, the first Pokemon tournament that they had for Gen 7, which was the one where there were no items and you could bring one major legendary with you, I played the bare minimum number of games that I needed in order to get the participation prize, and I wasn't having fun, so I stopped playing. This tournament is more balanced and that, so I'm enjoying it a lot more. But, yeah, there are instances in competitive, even with a game that I do enjoy, that I just don't have fun because the rules are stacked against me or whatever the reason happens to be, and I don't play those circumstances because they're not fun to me. I think it was because I mathed it out and essentially nothing could outspeed Lunala, and it could one-shot everything.
Lunala is life.
Yeah. I think it was, Lunala and Pheromosa, there were just no answers to them with no items, because you needed a choice scarf to outspeed them.
Well, you've been quiet, Riffti.
It's because it's competitive talk, and it's not really your thing.
It's not really my thing either, but
Yeah.
it's something to talk about. What's going on in your life, your world?
Work.
Predicted. I knew that was exactly what you were going to say.
Well,
I know it's true.
It's
but...
true. I've come off of 3 weeks of work straight.
Yeah.
This is my first day off I've had in literally 3 weeks.
And you're essentially doing it to work on BrantFurred.
Exactly.
At least this is fun, though.
Yeah, no, it's not that I have a problem using my time off to work on BrantFurred stuff. I don't have no problem with that at all. It's just...
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and it's one of those things where it's like, oh crap, I've worked for 3 weeks straight, and now it's my day off, and now I have to do stuff for BrantFurred. I have to work on that stuff. I have to work on cleaning up the apartment a little bit because, it's just... work never ends.
Adulting is hard.
I don't even get... Well, to be fair, I know what you're talking about. I had 1 day off this week, and I don't even get a day off on the weekend. I have a busy, stupid weekend.
I work 6 days, 3 at one job and 3 at another. So I work 6 days a week normally, and then we've been short-staffed. So last week I had 2 12-hour shifts at my one job, and the day off that I was going to have, I had to spend working a full shift at the other job.
Why? Why'd you have to?
Because they were short-staffed and they had no one else there.
But were you scheduled? Was it a scheduled day off?
No, it's just that would have been my day off that week. But one girl had to take a personal day because that's how the job work. That's how the job puts it, is you have to take your personal day before your anniversary. So she was running out of days, so they picked that day and they scheduled me in because she was going to be gone. So I had to take her place. Essentially, otherwise we were only going to have one person working all day.
Yeah.
It's just...
It sounds like the world of what you do is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was one girl at the other job who had to take 2 or 3 weeks off because her husband ended up in the emergency. So that's why I had to do the 2 12-hour shifts, because she was gone and we needed physical bodies. And then that was also the second of the 12-hour shifts was the day I got really, really sick and ended up puking 6 times.
Still say you should have went home.
I couldn't go home. I had to do a 12-hour day, and then within the first 8 hours, I threw up.
That's what I mean. Like, fucking
6 times, and
sorry,
I could barely stand up. And everyone's just like, yeah, can't have you go home because...
I still would have went home anyways.
Yeah.
What logic is it to stay there and be terrible because you feel terrible, then rather than come home and rest and be twice as good the next day
The
when you
boss's
feel better?
bottom dollar.
I'm just
It's not even the bottom dollar. It's just, as I explained to you, the people who
I
were
know.
going to be at night are... Well, let's just put it this way. The one person can't do half the job, and the other person gets very flustered very easily. It was just a disaster in the making. So the fact that I was there, mitigating what I could do, saved the night from being a total train wreck. Even though I was feeling crappy.
Yeah. Damn you corporations.
So, and then it just sort of devolved into one thing into another, and I'm better now.
Yeah.
Good.
But...
I hate the fact that I can only sympathize with this just because I'm crippled, then won't let me work anymore.
You're not crippled. We've been over this before.
All right, by definition, I'm not crippled, but that is the easiest term to use.
You are disabled.
Yeah, but disabled hurts to say.
It's better than crippled.
Anyway. But the point being is they won't let me work anymore. They will not look for jobs for me anymore, and if I go someplace, essentially I have nothing backing me up. So I can only sympathize, but at the same time, I very much understand, because I have been in work situations and whatnot where essentially it's hard to describe how the world has become. There are arguments on both sides for millennials and whatnot feeling entitled, and on the opposite side, essentially the world consistently being unfair to anyone born after 1983.
The world has changed, and our policies have not kept up with those changes.
Yeah.
Things are far more expensive. Wages have stayed stagnant. You have to work horrifically stressful positions, times, hours just to scrape by what, 20 years ago you could eke out a reasonable living. Nowadays you're scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to survive, and people just don't see it because, when I was a kid, I worked this and this and this and this. Yeah, but that and that and that and that, when you were my age, got you a lot more. You could buy a fucking house. I can't buy a house. I can barely afford my apartment. And the apartment cost, my rent keeps going up every year. So, what I could survive on even last year no longer applies because my rent shot up $30 a month.
Yeah. And I think I've said it on the show before. Is essentially the answer that the world needs is major economic reform, and that's what I think a lot of people voted for Trump thinking is, but the way that it's put, and it's kind of a common sense thing, is you want to put somebody in power who used the current system to gain as much as he did, to change the system that gave him everything.
Except most of his companies are bankrupt, except for the one his dad founded.
Because he's a dumbass.
Well, and now he's the president, so...
He's president dumbass.
There you go, country.
Yeah, because, unfortunately, the problem with things as they stand right now is people are working so hard, they're burning out spectacularly. And it's just to the point where this is a chronic problem. France enacted laws where it's, I think, there's a 12-hour window for your 8-hour workday, your average 8-hour workday. There's a 12-hour window where people can contact you with things about work from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. So you cannot, after 7, receive any emails, texts, whatever that are work related, because they're trying to put a divide between your home life and your work life, because nowadays the two are so blurred. I've gotten messages at 8:30 talking about, why is this not done, and why is this and this and that from my work, when I've already clocked out, gone home. I'm trying to have my dinner and relax a little bit.
Yeah.
And I keep getting bothered with stuff about work.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not terribly happy in the job I'm at, but I can't really complain much because they like me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that, what I do is, once you know what you're doing, fucking the easiest thing you'd ever do in your entire life.
They didn't like me when I worked where you work. And I didn't really like them either.
Apparently that's a common thing. Everyone's like, I hate your job, blah, blah, blah. Which, just in case, I don't mind saying where I work. It doesn't bother me at all.
By all technical accounts, the only thing I would watch, because this is still kind of Pheonix's orientation for things, just for people watching, and if you want to be starting YouTube, it's a good idea, is avoid slandering people you know and places you go. Because, especially a workplace, if you slander them openly on something that they could potentially see, they are legally allowed to use it against you.
I really don't think my particular employers are going to be browsing the tubes and find this and know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm nothing but a number to them.
Yeah.
Literally, it's on my card.
Yeah. But anyway, though, like that's the overall encompassing. Generally, try not to use like a specific.
I
Yeah,
won't,
like you can
but
praise as much as you want, but don't say anything bad.
It's not. The worst part about my job is people who think they're entitled when they're not. That's the worst part. And once you can deal with people and you just want to say, fuck it, I'm here for 8 hours, fuck you, you're done.
I was gonna say, welcome to V's job, where unfortunately she has to deal with those people.
Well, yeah, I'm just a peon, technically. I'm one small little cog in the machine.
Yeah, my job...
Customer service job.
I know.
Customer service job where our max team is like 10 people.
Yeah.
For our, like, entire department.
See, I hate people, so I don't... But I'm really good at faking that I like people. So I don't know if I'd be really good in a job like that or really bad in a job like that. 'Cause I have to fake it all the time at work.
I very quickly learned while I was on a call center job, which was forever ago. If people have paid up to the podcast up to this point, you probably know when I quit.
There was a lot of P's in that sentence.
Anyway, it hit the point where I realized I really don't want to put up with other people's shit. I am here to do a job. I will do that job for you. If you have an issue that is outside of my realm of wanting to deal with it, then you can go fuck yourself.
Actually, that entire like mantra works in my field too.
Yeah.
It just I'm paid this amount to do this job. You have a problem, it's not my fault.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't work in a telephone job because, what people think mattered. Even if I did nothing wrong, I could be penalized because they felt that something was wrong.
I lived in a house like that for a while.
Anyway, that is all the time we have. We've actually run a little long, which is fine. So, till next time, take care, everybody. I'm gonna have to start taking up Foxen's end line.
Why? What does he say?
Like, take care.
Oh, we should all have an outro at some point.
Mine is see y'all later, heroes, which I keep accidentally using on BrantFurred videos.
Well, if it's your thing.
Yes, but it's my thing for my channel.
So this is technically part of your channel too. This is
It is
sibling channel.
It is a sibling channel, but I refer to my viewers specifically as heroes, and everyone here I refer to as BrantFurred.
Call them furrows.
Anyway, we'll see you later, everybody.
See ya.
Bye-bye.